Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. A very warm welcome to Silver Tent TV. I'm your host, Siobhan A Riordan, along with my dog Elsa, and sometimes she can join in, but we kind of go with it. The Silver Tent is a global online platform for women over 50. It's a place for women to come, to be supported, to be nurtured, to pursue those dreams that have yet to be realised. And it's also a place to share women's wisdom. By the very fact that we're over 50, we've been round the block a few times and we have a lot of wisdom that we've accumulated over the decades. And with that in mind, I'm here today with the beautiful, beautiful Lily Naadu Mensah. And a warm welcome to you, Lily.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thanks for inviting me to this wonderful place where we can talk and chat and let share information, share the wisdom around the room, isn't it? And that's like you say, women over 50, we've done so much and we should share more. So thank you.
Lily, you have a lot of wisdom to share. Let's say for over 20 years, you've been an expert in branding, in marketing, in coaching, and especially in media development. You're a published author, Work Your Quirks, and I
Yay.
look forward to us learning more about that. And we began just with a conversation about your name and
Yes.
how in different cultures the naming of a child is very significant. So just tell us a bit about your name and the story behind that.
My name, Lily. Oh, Lily. Lily is a name. I think my parents had a friend called Lily Joyce. Very few people know that I have a middle name, Joyce. But my traditional name is Nadu, and Nadu is the name that is given to a daughter, a first daughter, and Na is actually like a lady. So if you see me on social media, Lady Mensa, then I'm lady, and of course I come from a traditional royal family in Ghana. So it's all about naming the child, bringing the whole family together 1 week after the child is born, and we have different rites and ceremonies to make sure that I think it all started with the child mortality rates and all of that. So it's about making sure the child stays on this earth and flourishes. And so naming ceremonies are very, very popular in Ghana. And I think, various parts of the world, but definitely in Africa.
Yeah, and we're glad you're here on this world because links.com is your company. And
Yes.
I thought it'd be really good to explore. You now run this very successful company, but tell us the story behind it and how you got to that point.
Um, when it was a link, that links LYNCS is a Lily Yeboah, my married name, Lily Yeboah's network of consultancy services. I'm a branding expert or a branding specialist. I don't think anybody's an expert, but definitely a specialist. But I knew that if I was going to be consulting with, businesses and business owners, I needed a network of other specialists. So if you came to me with your branding expertise and after consultation, I realized that you need an accountant as well. I would signpost you to that network of consultancy services that I have in my Rolodex, if you're old enough to remember those. And that's the name. That's how the name became. That's how I named. And people say, "How do you? Or can I just have a name?" No, you need a story behind the name, and you need to live that for as long as the company is around. So that's how the naming of the company was. But I was also, it started, and I think it's coming around. I was made redundant from Arthur Anderson, if you remember that scandal. That was that scandal, and I was doing branding then, and I went to see a friend's a friend's brother-in-law to look for a job. He was an accountant, accountancy firm accountant, and he said, "Nadu, you can run your own business. You're smart enough. I can't afford you." But he said he will help me set up my company. So that's the whole story behind the name Links and how it became and how I started running my company. So
And it's
yeah,
great because it's important to realize that coming to you doesn't just mean a service, it's actually a very holistic service that you're
yeah,
offering.
yes, yes.
And tell me about Work Your Quirks and how that came into being, because it's a great book and a really useful resource. And I know you've also taken it online with the development of a playbook as well.
Yes. The Work Your Quirks is, I believe that everybody has something wonderful to bring to the table. And Work Your Quirks is around the mining of diamonds because the diamond, the book has, a diamond in your hand. And it's about the process of personal branding is about looking at the diamond right from the mine shaft and researching around where you find it, and then how you cut the diamond, how you get it to Tiffany's, and so on and so forth. And that's how a brand starts its life as a diamond, and that's how it works. But the quirks for me is also about quality. I need acronyms to remember my own name. uh, Quality, unique, integrity, realistic, and kind to yourself. So the quirk stands for something, because if you're producing something that's not of quality, nobody's going to buy it. If it's not, everybody's unique. You have to have integrity. It's so important. And we also have to remember that, especially as women, where we overcommit. So we need to be realistic with our resources, our time and our money. And lastly, always remember to be kind to yourself. And
It,
that's what quirks stand for.
yeah, and I didn't realize that, and I love that. And so anyone going on those journeys, that the journey with you is going to touch each of those.
Yes, yes, indeed.
And so tell me about the online experience that you've developed.
The Work Your Quirks virtually came about when I realized that people were reading, they would read the book, but then I felt people were saying they wanted more. So it's about listening to your clients, listening to your customers, or they'll have like a 30-minute consultation or 1 hour consultation with me, but it was always small. And sometimes budget was a problem. Meeting me to coach them was a problem because we hadn't gone on to now everybody can meet anybody everywhere. So I created the Work Your Quirks virtually as a group coaching program to help more women come together. And of course, it's just for women, come together. I'll be coaching them through the playbook that I've developed. The playbook is like it's a workbook. I call it a playbook because nobody wants to be working all the time. Life's too short. So the playbook is there for me to coach you around the same tenets of developing that diamond that every woman has. So that's where the Work Your Quirks virtually comes in. And of course, the book is on Audible as well, and it's on Amazon, but it's on Audible. The Audible bit was the most challenging bit for me.
So did you actually read it yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, good. So we get to
I
listen to
tell
you.
you, it felt like I was standing in class like a 12-year-old reading out loud. I could, and it reminded me of the fact that the next book I write, I need to use very small words, 2 syllables, 3 syllables max.
Well, I want to thank you for putting it on Audible because people with degenerating eyesight, with sight loss, suddenly your work becomes inclusive
Yes,
for them. And as someone who really struggles with reading words on a page these days, the Audible is yeah, it enables me to participate and play with you
yeah,
as well. Lily, we were having a really interesting conversation before we started, before we pressed record. And you were talking about how you had been out and had your first face-to-face after COVID. And
Yeah,
yeah, we were sort of talking about that because I think there's been a quiet transformation going on in the world,
yeah.
hasn't there? And we're not, or any of us, quite sure where that transformation has led us.
It it's one of those things that you think, I was offered to do it virtually, but I said no. This is my first opportunity to test my own self out, and everybody else I know has been, quite happy to do the virtual thing. But when I got the opportunity to go and do a presentation, it's not just work, just presentation to a brand new group of people that I'll be working with. I thought, wow, if I don't take this opportunity, I'll never get out there. So that meant getting ready, catching the train, catching the tube, and navigating all of that. It was very, very stressful. But what I allowed myself to do was prepare in advance, like 10 days in advance, no, like a day in advance, get my lucky jacket. I call it my lucky jacket. Get my lucky jacket on, my lucky heels on, and keep it in a bag, of course. You don't walk on the cobble streets of London with your high heels on. And then get there. And then get there and then go to the bathroom, take a detour, go to the bathroom and change. What I also did was, because I had arrived with my lucky jacket, I thought I'm going to keep it on. I knew it. I was going to get too hot, but I needed to start the presentation with my jacket on. So who does that? Lily does that. Halfway through, she's sweating. She's going, "Can I have a moment, please?" So I had to. I felt a bit like a superstar. Have you ever been to a concert and somebody's taken their jacket and thrown it into the crowd? That was me. But I think it helped bring my own energy, inject some of my own energy into the room. And once I'd taken my jacket off and everybody had a little laugh, I sort of calmed down a bit. So don't forget that if you're going into a presentation, you're going to the new normal, bring some of your old stuff back in. Don't leave it outside, because we need that to help us to move forward. And just go with intention that it's all going to work out. It always does. Whatever the outcome is, just give it your best and go with your lucky jacket and your lucky shoes.
I love that. And such a woman's response as well.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So let's go back to the coaching program, the group coaching program and the online service. So yes, you're dabbling your toe now, being back in face-to-face work, but I know you're really passionate about the online service and wanting to keep developing that. So what do if I wanted to sign up, what would I be signing up to, and what journey are you going to take me on?
The first bit is you sign up and then you get first of all you get a questionnaire, because I like to know who I'm working with and what they're looking, what success looks like for them, so that when we're working together, I know I could keep an ear out for all those cues that don't perhaps come in the group's coaching session, but they will come up. I will also provide you with a one-to-one halfway through the 5-week program. So after week 2, in the 3rd week, we get a one-to-one to make sure that you're going. And then I buddy you up with another woman. You get yourself, everybody gets a girlfriend. That's what I call them. Everybody gets a girlfriend in class. And because I can do so much, but I think if you have somebody else that you're accountable to, it helps you, the experience is much richer. That then means you fill in your playbook. Your playbook is about co-creating your future self. It's all aspirational. We're not leaving everything behind. We're taking some of the good stuff, recreating it, repurposing it, and putting some bling on it, so that when we go out there, we're sparkling eternally, and we actually know we've put pen to paper, so that tomorrow is going to look a lot brighter. So that's the journey, a beautiful journey.
It does. It sounds wonderful. I'm going to put the links of how to access you and the course in the text below this. But Lily, you're a joy. You shine brightly in every way, and I've loved connecting with you in this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I hope that this will help other women, especially the stepping out and doing the in-person meeting. Is not, it should, don't overthink it. Everything will be fine.
A beautiful note to finish on. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. And wherever you are in the world, if the sun isn't shining in your skies, may it shine in your heart. This is Siobhan signing off for Silver Tent TV.